Church, and we're here today with John Steinbeck, the author of The Grapes of Wrath.
Hi Charlotte, it's an honor to be here today.
It's an honor to have you here. John, we have you here to talk about some of the stylistic choices you have made in writing The Grapes of Wrath. Tell us, what kind of syntax and diction did you use to create such a powerful story?
See, the story of the Dust Bowl is a horrifying one. Families and houses were destroyed by the storms, and the world just didn't seem to take any notice. People in America were suffering from the economic depression, but unlike the people of the Great Plains, they did not have to pick up and move to a new state because of their destitution. Even the President of the United States did little to help them. I felt the story was so powerful and meaningful, it should be written like the most powerful and meaningful book of all times, the Bible. I set out my sentences to create a biblical rhythm to try to grab the reader's attention to the poor lives of these people. As for my diction, many times in my book, I used repetition to emphasize my points. The words I used evoked a sense of pity and compassion for the poor families I wrote about. People needed to know how miserable they felt. I also felt that being descriptive would help convey my message. I went into thorough detail of their hardships in order to recreate them.
Also, in your book, there are many intercalary chapters. What are the purpose of these?
See, the Joads are an amazing family who have gone through a lot. Although they are faced with many struggles and privations, I wanted my readers to know the Joads were not an isolated case. The events that happened in the Joad family's life were absolutely not uncommon during the Dust Bowl. My intercalary chapters gave my readers an in-depth look at some of the corruptions and misfortunes that were common to that time period.
Many people say that the turtle in one of your intercalary chapters symbolizes something of a greater meaning. Is this true? If so, what do you mean by this turtle? Do you use any other symbols throughout the book?
Yes, the distressed turtle symbolized the family's struggle during the Dust Bowl. The Joad family had to go through many obstacles, as did the turtle. Another symbol that I used was the death of the Joad's dog. This was first of many deaths to come for the Joad family. Another symbol I used was Rose of Sharon's pregnancy. When the stillborn baby was delivered, one would think that the family would slip into despair and desolation, but instead, the family moves on courageously and heroically. This symbolizes the Joad family's determination on their journey to a stable life.
Next up, we have Tom Joad. Tom Joad and his family were the inspiration of this novel. So Tom, in the novel we can obviously see your life is constantly changing, as well as thousands of other farmers' lives. What were some changes you went through and how did you overcome them?
Well, obviously the biggest change in all of our lives was picking up and leaving for our expedition to California. This change in lifestyle changed our hopes, dreams, means of survival, and outlook on life. My family had been farming that land for generations. We knew every square inch like the back of my hand. When the wind started blowing and the dust kicked up, we were desperate to save our land, but we just couldn't. We grabbed what we could hold and stuffed it into our rundown vehicle Pa bought for our trip. We no longer had our crops, our home, or a deep connection to the land. Not all changes were bad, though. It sure did bring my family closer.
Oh yes, your family was always by your side. Do you think you would have made it without them?
Absolutely not. My family stuck together through thick and thin. When we had no money, no jobs, and no food, we sure did have each other. Ma was the glue that kept us all together. Not only did she care for our own family, she created an even bigger family out of the other migrants we traveled with. When we had little food, Ma made sure we weren't selfish and did the Christian thing and shared. We became a community and we made it through together. Ma kept us going even when times got hard. She never let us give up or lose hope throughout our journey.
The book exposed the many obstacles you faced. How did you find it within yourself to keep moving and not turn back?
I can't deny it got pretty tough out there. The days were long and hot and it seemed just impossible to get a job. We were hungry, tired, and homesick, but we knew we didn't have nothing to go back home to. Our home was destroyed. The only direction we could move was forward in hopes of a better life. With Ma's encouragement and optimism, we trudged through the Great Plains and never looked back. The voice in our heads telling us to keep going overpowered the grumbling of our stomach.
Go.
Next up we have Ma Joad, Tom's mother. Here she is now. Hi, how are you? Hello, Charlotte. The Dust Bowl seemed extremely detrimental and devastating. How did the severe crisis affect your everyday life and your personal outlooks when you lived in Oklahoma?
Back in Oklahoma, I remember not being able to see anything when the dust started blowing around. Sometimes we had to wear masks over our faces to protect ourselves from the dust because little kids and older folks were getting mighty sick from it. Some of my best friends lost their husbands in storms while they were desperately trying to save their crops. We used to have a surplus of crops growing everywhere. But when the dust storms came, everything was destroyed.
What were some hardships that you faced traveling from Oklahoma to California?
One big obstacle on our journey was when our car broke down. I told Pa Jode to be careful buying a car from those corrupt dealers I heard about. They had a history of taking advantage of people like us because we were so desperate to move to California. The biggest obstacle we had to face was reality. We set out on our journey with hopes of a better, easier life, but so did thousands of other families. We were blindsided by how wrong we truly were in our hopes of a better future.
Was California everything you longed for? How difficult was it assimilating into California lifestyle and achieving the aspirations you wished to achieve there?
California. We thought it was the promised land, but in reality, it was just the opposite. As soon as we arrived there, we were immediately subjected to racism and called Okies. We tried to make it our home away from home and assimilate into California, but we were rudely interrupted by the police. We searched for work that was promised in those flyers that we read. We did eventually find work, but it took a lot, more than we expected. In the end, though, I think everything was worth it. The majority of our family stuck together. It started raining. Wow, what a glorious day that was.
As you can see, the story of the Jodes in The Grapes of Wrath is very inspirational and will be around for centuries. Thank you for watching.
You smiled at me.
You started this off.
Tara, stop it. If you've been like,
When the wind started blowing and dust.
He's saying vehicle.
vehicle.
Go. You mean to say.
The second question.
Okay, I'm just being passionate.
What? Oh, it's supposed to be one word. It's supposed to be one word. A little.
When we had little.
A little isn't a word.
Keep going. Shut up.
What? Hurry up. 1 minute left to do this.
Started blowing around. Found a way. No. Our masks over our face.
Masks.
Okay. I have an ASK problem.
Laugh to turn into a cry.
You stop futzing around. That was a gloriful day. About who? Wrong.